Welcome back to Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen with offices in Houston, Texas. Today I'm going to answer the question, what is your name? If you have applied for any immigration benefit in the United States, you will notice that the form immediately asks you for your full name. In the United States, a full name usually consists of a first name, a middle name, and a surname, otherwise known as a last name. However, did you realize that this is one of the questions that people applying for immigration benefits struggle with the most? If you are scratching your head wondering why this question is so hard to answer, let me shed some light on cultural differences depending on what country you live in. For example, if you are from a Latin American country like Mexico, Bolivia, or even Spain, most likely your birth certificate will indicate that you have two last names. You will also notice that your passport will also indicate that you have two last names also. The problem is that many people, when they move from Latin American countries to the United States, tend to only use one of their surnames or last names. And this may cause an issue when you're applying for immigration benefits here in the United States. Another example is that if you're from a country like Vietnam, where I'm from, most likely your birth certificate and your passports and other identification documents will indicate your name is in reverse order. This means that your documents will indicate that your last name is listed first, followed by your middle name, and then your first name. Now this becomes a big deal when you're applying for a visa to come to the United States, or if you're applying for a permanent resident card. Because if you do not indicate that this is not your first name, even though it's listed first, most people, when you get your identification documents, like your green card, people are going to start referring you by your last name instead of your first name. So be very careful if you're from a country like Vietnam. Another country that has issues with their names are people from Nigeria. In Nigeria, some of the birth certificates list names backwards like Vietnam. Also, I noticed that some of the birth certificates indicate the person's Christian name. For some Nigerians, they consider the Christian name to be part of their legal name, and for others, they do not. And finally, let's take a look at India. People in India sometimes do not either have a first name or a last name. This is not uncommon for people in India. So when we complete the immigration documents or immigration forms in the United States, depending on the immigration officer that you get, sometimes the immigration officer may not be aware of these cultural differences. Some officers are highly trained, some are new. I recall in the past even receiving a request for evidence when one of the officers was not sure why this person did not have either a first or last name. So these are just 4 examples of why the question, what is your name, can be so complicated. So if you find yourself in a situation where someone is confused about their name, I want you to be more sensitive and aware that things that we consider normal in the United States may not be so normal in other countries. Now let me leave you with some additional questions just for you to think about after this video. You can try to answer these questions in the comments below, and let's see how many people actually get these questions right. So the first question is, what if you're from a country like China and your notarial certificate lists your name, but your name does not have an equivalent English translation? 2, what if you're from a country like Norway and your name was misspelled on your English translation? 3, what if you were born with one last name, got married, and then used that name, but now you are no longer married? So again, thank you for watching Winning Law. I'm attorney David Nguyen, and we hope that we have made immigration easier to understand.
At David Nguyen's Law Office, we are here to help you. We bring families together through immigration. And on the other hand, we help you find solutions. All your legal needs in the hands of people who care, who are there for you. We'll take care of your loved ones at the Law Office of David.